A country decided to send spy drones to check out the tactics of the French team, and another player got caught up cheating his brother's wife. These are crazy cheating stories in football history. Let's start from 1991. Back in 1991, there was a wild cheating incident involving Diego Maradona. He was known for using some sneaky moves in football matches, like the famous Hand of God in which he used his hand to score a goal against England in the World Cup. But in 91, things got really intense. He got caught cheating again, this time with the drugs. Yep, he took a doping test and it came back positive. So he got slapped with a hefty 15-month ban from football. Crazy stuff, right? You might think that after getting banned once, Diego would have learned his lesson, but nope, history repeated itself. In 1994, during the World Cup, he got caught up in the same mess again. This time, he wasn't so lucky in dodging the consequences. But Andres Müller cheating got Borussia Dortmund a Bundesliga title. In 1995, there was a major showdown between Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich for the Bundesliga title. It was a nail-biter, almost like a championship final within the league. But during this intense game, Dortmund's Andres Müller pulled off a controversial move. He took a dive in the penalty box, faking a foul and winning his team a penalty. Now, Müller insisted it wasn't a dive, but let's be real. There was zero contact. This penalty ended up clinching the game and ultimately the Bundesliga title for Dortmund. Müller did face some consequences afterward, a 2-game ban, a fine, and suspension from the national team for a bit. But hey, he got to bask in the glory of being a Bundesliga champion. So he probably thought the punishment was a small price to pay for the win. But Müller isn't the only football great to get away with diving, because in 2002, another football legend pulled off a sneaky move. Rivaldo, playing for Brazil in the World Cup, seemed to mix up football with Olympic springboard diving. During a match against Turkey, a Turkish player kicked the ball at him, and Rivaldo saw his chance. He took a dramatic dive, causing the Turkish player to get sent off. Brazil went on to win the match too, won and eventually the whole tournament. But here's the kicker: the entire stadium wasn't fooled. They booed the decision, knowing it was a bit of trickery. Rivaldo even got slapped with a £5,000 fine afterward. But hey, with the World Cup winner's medal hanging around his neck, he probably didn't mind the penalty too much. But as we step into the 2000s, cheating wasn't confined to the football field. Ryan Giggs was caught up in a scandal off the pitch involving his brother's wife. It all started back in 2003 when Giggs, a star player for Manchester United, seemed to have everything: fame, fortune, and a happy family. But apparently that wasn't enough for him. For a staggering 8 years, Giggs carried on an affair with his brother's wife, even while she was expecting his nephew. The truth finally unraveled, exposing years of lies and betrayal. When Giggs' brother, Rodri, discovered the truth, he was left shocked. But it's pretty crazy, because Ryan Giggs wasn't the only Manchester United icon caught up in a cheating scandal in 2003. David Beckham also found himself in the spotlight for similar reasons. Well, not exactly the same thing, no brothers were involved this time. Beckham was married to Victoria when a woman named Rebecca spilled the beans to the press about her affair with the football superstar. At the time, Beckham was showing his class for Real Madrid and was arguably the most famous footballer on the planet. So you can imagine this incident caused quite the stir worldwide. Victoria described it as one of the toughest times in their marriage, but somehow they managed to patch things up and are still going strong today. Alright, let's shift our focus from cheating wives to the biggest cheating scandal in football history, which happened in 2006. It is known as Calciopoli, and it shook Italian football to its roots. Juventus, AC Milan, Fiorentina, Lazio, and a couple of smaller Italian clubs were all tangled up in this mess. It was like something out of a movie. Referees were allegedly involved to favor certain teams, and they did it all under the radar with sneaky anonymous phone calls from foreign numbers. But as you can imagine, secrets like these don't stay hidden forever. The whole thing blew wide open, leaving Italian football in shock. Each club got slapped with different punishments based on how deep they were in the mess. Juventus took the hardest hit. They got relegated down to Serie B and had 2 league titles stripped away. SC Milan lost a whopping 30 points from the previous season and 8 for the upcoming one. Lazio got off a bit easier with just 3 points reduced, but they couldn't play in the UEFA Cup the next season. Fiorentina had to say goodbye to 15 points and kiss their spot in the Champions League goodbye. Juventus really felt the sting, since dropping to Serie B meant losing some top-notch players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Patrick Vieira, and Fabio Cannavaro. But hey, they bounced back strong enough to climb back up the ladder the following season. But in 2010, a player turned whole country against him for his cheating. Luis Suarez. It was the World Cup quarterfinal and Uruguay is facing off against Ghana. Both teams are giving it their all, desperate to advance to the next round. After 90 minutes, the game is deadlocked and heads into extra time. Ghana seems to have the upper hand, launching attacks left and right. Then, as fate would have it, a golden opportunity falls to Ghana in the penalty box. They're about to score and secure their ticket to the next round when Suarez steps in. With a shameful handball, he blocks the shot with his hands, giving Uruguay a lifeline. The Ghanaian player steps up to take the penalty kick but misses, leaving the game level. It's down to a nerve-wracking penalty shootout, which Uruguay ultimately wins. And guess what? Suarez's handball turn save ends up being the decisive moment that sends Uruguay through and breaks Ghana's World Cup dreams. After that day, Suarez is named Diablo in Ghana, which means devil. But he never apologized for his cheating. He admits to the handball but shifts blame, saying it was the Ghana player who missed the penalty, not him. Some might agree with his logic, but cheating is cheating, and he faced the consequences for it. But the next, it wasn't a player cheating this time, but it was the team's masseuse. In 2013, Brazil witnessed a cheating scandal involving team's masseuse. Just imagine the scene. After making an incredible double save on the goal line, masseuse realizes he's in hot water with the opponent players. So without skipping a beat, he runs from the field. This miraculous double save actually saved the game for his team, securing a draw and sending them through to the next round of the cup. Talk about an unexpected hero, or should we say a villain? Fast forward to 2014, and cheating in football is taking on a whole new dimension thanks to technology. France was gearing up for a crucial World Cup match when they spot drones hovering above their training ground. Turns out Honduras was trying to sneakily gather intel on their tactics using these spy drones. However, all that spying amounted to zero as France effortlessly dominated the match, cruising to a 3-0 victory. But the saga doesn't end there. In 2017, Honduras flipped the script, claiming to be victims of the same sneaky drone tactics. They pointed fingers at none other than the Australian national team. Looks like the tables turned in this high-tech game of cat and mouse. But in 2022, technology advanced and football witnessed a new form of cheating: lasers. Egypt found themselves on the receiving end of this cruel tactic in the most heartbreaking manner. In a World Cup qualifier between Egypt and Senegal, Mo Salah, known for his impeccable scoring record with Liverpool, steps up for a penalty. Everyone expects him to slot it home as usual, but Sudanese fans had a different plan. They brought out lasers, aiming to blind Salah and throw him off his game. Their despicable tactic worked, causing Salah to miss the target. However, the story doesn't end there. Sadio Mane, undeterred by the lasers, steps up for Sudan and calmly converts the penalty, sending them to the World Cup while leaving the Egyptians devastated by the shameful cheating. It's a stark reminder of how low someone will go in the pursuit of victory. But the most recent cheating case happened in 2024 with World Cup winner Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba was banned from the sport for 4 years due to doping. It's been a devastating fall from grace for one of football's brightest stars, and it's doubtful whether he'll ever return to the professional football scene. It all started when Pogba, playing for Juventus, was called in for a random doping test after being an unused substitute in a match. A month later, the results came back positive, revealing that he had been taking illegal substance testosterone. Despite Pogba's denying allegations, stating that he didn't knowingly take any performance-enhancing drugs, the positive test results spoke for themselves. The ban means he won't be able to step onto a football pitch again until August 2027, when he'll be 35 years old and likely past his prime. It's a sad end to a career that once held so much promise. Many had hoped to see him regain his form at Juventus after a challenging period at Manchester United, but unfortunately it seems his career has fallen apart. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button and check out more interesting content.